Today is Haridas Thakur Disappearance Tithi. Haridas Thakur ki jai. Haridas Thakur Tirobhav Tithi Mahotsav ki jai. Haridas Thakur Samadhi ki jai. Devotees, the acharyas, they don't die. They enter into trance, samadhi. So when a Paramahansa Acharya leaves the body, we don't say he died. We say he entered into samadhi. Okay? So Haridas Thakur is a great personality. He was born in a Muslim family, but he started chanting 3 lakh names from the very childhood. And by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he exhibited such transcendental qualities that all Hindus would follow him, not the so-called Brahmanas. 530 years ago, all over the India, the Brahmins were the god. Whatever Brahmins said, everybody has to follow. But Haridas Thakur's spiritual potency was so visible that people neglected Brahmins and worshipped Haridas Thakur. They would come in thousands to hear Haridas Thakur. Now, Haridas Thakur became part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila. So he, along with Nityananda Prabhu, would go to most difficult places to preach. Places like red light areas, the areas where people drink, those places they would go and preach people in Krishna consciousness. The whole motivation is that if we can convert the most wretched and impure soul into spiritual, as a Vaishnava, as a pure Vaishnava, so that will give more fame to Lord Chaitanya. So that was their idea of preaching. But anyway, Haridas Thakur, when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Mahaprabhu resided in Jagannātha Puri 24 years. And our Haridas Thakur stayed in Jagannātha Puri during this pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And at some point of time, Haridas Thakur realized that Mahaprabhu is going to wind up his pastime. That means he is going to become invisible. That means he will go back to his spiritual abode. And for Haridas Thakur, a life without association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very tough to accept. So that is why he prayed to Lord Chaitanya that please allow me to die by seeing your beautiful moon-like face. Okay? So, and by chanting your transcendental holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, I should give up my body. So this is the pastime that we are going to read. Please hear. Lord Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu inquired, my dear Haridas, what is the news? Haridas Thakur replied, my Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me. Upon hearing this, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard. Bakreshwar Pandit was the chief dancer, headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami. All the devotees of Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu surrounded Haridas Thakur, began congregational chanting. Haridas Thakur is ready. In fact, just before the previous day, Mahaprabhu came and told Haridas Thakur, what is your issue? He said that, Haridas Thakur was not keeping well and Mahaprabhu was concerned about his health, and Mahaprabhu said, you don't have to chant 3 lakh, you reduce the name. And Haridas Thakur said, I don't have any disease, I have only one disease, I don't have taste to chant. Okay? So this is what Haridas Thakur said, and he made a request. Uh, Okay, so little back I want to go, because Mahaprabhu said that you can reduce, and Haridas Thakur said, no, my real sickness is that I don't have taste for chanting. But then Haridas Thakur expressed his sincere desire to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that you are, where is that? My dear Lord, by your mercy you have made me dance in many ways. For example, I was offered Shraddha Patra, which should have been offered to first class Brahmana. I ate from it even though I was born in a family of meat eaters. So this is the pastimes of Haridas Thakur in the house of Advaita Acharya, where Advaita Acharya gave the Shraddha Patra first to Haridas Thakur. He was such a beautiful Vaishnava. And anyway, so I have very little time. I'm really nervous now. So I have to. So the idea here is that he was Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur realized that Mahaprabhu is going to wind up his pastime, and it is very tough for him to live without Mahaprabhu. So he said, I wish that you not show me this closing chapter of your pastime. I can't tolerate this separation from you. Before that time comes, kindly let my body fall down in your presence. Hrudaye dharimu tomar kamala charana nayane dekhimu tomar chandavadana jihaya icharimu tomar Krishna Chaitanya Nama Ei moto moro icha chadimu Purana. So he said, Oh my dear master, addressing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, please allow me to leave my body in your presence. I want to leave the body by keeping your lotus feet in my heart, while relishing the nectarian ambrosial emanating from your transcendental smiling and charming face. While reciting your transcendental name, Śrī Krishna Chaitanya, I must give up my body. That is my desire. And of course then Mahaprabhu would say, Haridas, it is because of your association I am still surviving. How can you put me in such a deluge? And Mahaprabhu would show in front of all the devotees his natural affection for Haridas Thakur. And here it is. Next day Mahaprabhu came. We will read thus what happened. Next morning, after visiting Jagannātha temple, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, accompanied by all his devotees, went hastily to see Haridas Thakur. Why? Because Haridas Thakur is going to give up the body. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu and devotees came before Haridas Thakur, who offered respect to the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. This is what we should aim for. We should aim for giving the body while properly situated, perfectly Krishna conscious, surrounded by the devotees. Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu inquired, My dear Haridas, what is the news? Haridas Thakur replied, My Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me, allow me to leave my body. Upon hearing this, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone together.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yogis, by their mystic power, they can manifest aerial mansion by which they can travel to all planets. Mystic yogis can become bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest. Mystic yogis, like Vishwamitra, they can manifest a new planetary system. But these are not at all wonderful. Anybody who knows who is Krishna, these are like 5 paisa worth toys. 5 paise ki khilona. This is what it is, dear devotees. The real thing, real mystic power, Haridas Thakur had. He captivated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within his heart. And Mahaprabhu is reciprocating. Mahaprabhu is reciprocating that. So, in the courtyard of Siddha Bakula, Haridas Thakur is lying on the earth, and Mahaprabhu started congregational chanting. Bakreshwar Pandit started dancing. Swarup Damodar Goswami, headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami, all the devotees of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu surrounded Haridas Thakur and began chanting, congregational chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In front of all great devotees like Rai Ramananda, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu began to describe the holy attributes of Haridas Thakur. As he described the transcendental attributes of Haridas Thakur, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu seemed to possess 5 mouths. The more he described, the more his great happiness increased. After hearing the transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakur, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. I don't know how Mahaprabhu, exactly what words did he use to describe transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakur. This is the same Haridas Thakur who converted Maya prostitute just in 3 days and made him into a pure devotee. I don't know what word Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to describe Haridas Thakur. He is the same Haridas Thakur for whose sake a poisonous snake left the cave instead of allowing Haridas Thakur to leave the cave. I don't know how and which way Mahaprabhu glorified Haridas Thakur. He must have told. The way he glorified the holy name, his knowledge, His authority on the glories of the holy name is unparalleled. Unparalleled. And Gopal Chakravarti is the Sakhi witness. I don't know what are the transcendental qualities that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must have referred while glorifying Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, although was chanting 3 lakhs names a day, he remained very humble. He didn't take any offense. When he was beaten in 24 marketplaces because the complaint came that he is chanting Hindu name, Hindu God's name, Haridas Thakur continued chanting. He was not disturbed. He didn't feel that these people are criminals. He didn't curse them. He tolerated. He took it that this is his past misdeeds, past miskarma, past duskarma that is paying him this heavy price. But he remained focused on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just imagine 4 people together using iron whip, incessantly beating every part of Haridas Thakur's body. But not a scratch came on the body of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was absolutely focused, determined to remain in the transcendental plane of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Later Mahaprabhu would show to Haridas Thakur, Haridas, see my back. All those punches were given to the body of Haridas. Mahaprabhu personally accepted on his back. And Haridas Thakur, when he saw, he felt very morose that Mahaprabhu has accepted all the infliction of suffering in his own back. This is the mystical potency of a devotee. A devotee never wants Krishna to serve him. He would never want this. But Haridas Thakur was so dear to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was determined to protect Haridas Thakur in all situations. I don't know what are all transcendental qualities Mahaprabhu must have mentioned about Haridas Thakur. But who would forget the Shraddha ceremony of Advaita Acharya, when Advaita Acharya has sent a special invitation to Haridas Thakur to come, and Shraddha offering is done. The greatest of all Brahmanas in Santipura is sitting in the house of Advaita Acharya, and each Brahmana is thinking, I am more superior to that Brahmana, and that Brahmana is thinking, no, I think that this fellow only has little knowledge of Ishopanishad. He doesn't know really what is Aranyaka. I know actually everything. I know Ishopanishad, I know Aranyaka, I know Samhitas, so I am better. And another person saying, no. Advaita Acharya doesn't care for Ishopanishad or Aranyaka or this or that. He cares for Srimad Bhagavatam, and I am an authority of Srimad Bhagavatam. So like that, each Brahmana is eating their own khaja. Khaja, you know that khaja is a very sweet thing. So they are eating their own khaja in their mind, thinking that they will be given, he will be given. Each one of them, they are thinking that I will be given that Shraddha Patra, the first. I will be the first recipient of the Shraddha Patra. So while they are thinking, Advaita Acharya is becoming impatient. Why his guest of honor, the chief guest, is still not there? Because his assistant is going out and he sees there is a Bhikmanga standing little far away from his house, but he didn't see anyone. And now with a royal aristocrat dress, looking very, very well posed, and is there. He's for him there is nobody. And finally, out of impatience, when Acharya goes out and sees Haridas Thakur as usual, very humble, he lifts him literally in his two hands and brings him and puts him in that special seat which was raised, and all others were in a normal platform. And when Haridas Thakur was given that particular seat, all the Brahmanas, everybody protested, "You have made a Muslim to sit in the most important throne today on the occasion of Shraddha ceremony. This is an offense, an insult to Brahmanas and our community." And Advaita Acharya didn't say a single word. He says, "If you want to stay here, stay. You want to leave this place, please leave. I am very happy. I am extremely happy that I have got or received my guest of honor, our chief guest, Haridas Thakur." And these Brahmanas went a little far away from his house and then started talking to him. Advaita Acharya is such a brilliant scholar. He cannot be wrong. So maybe our understanding is wrong. And then they scratch their head and then they themselves came out with the understanding, yes, an exalted soul doesn't require some denomination from any, if by Krishna's will, from any sect, any geographical location, he can manifest by Krishna's arrangement. So obviously they all accepted again. They came back to the house of Advaita Acharya and begged apology. Who can glorify Haridas Thakur? He is such a wonderful gem of a devotee, and Mahaprabhu especially liked him for his tolerant power. We all need a power of toleration, and Haridas Thakur, his lotus feet is the best object of meditation for each one of us. Bolo Haridas Thakur ki. Yeah. So Mahaprabhu started glorifying Haridas Thakur. After hearing of the transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakur, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. If Krishna has to describe you, what a fascinating thing that must be. Haridas Thakur made Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu sit down in front of him, and then he fixed his eyes like two bumblebees on the lotus face of the Lord. He held the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahāprabhu on his heart and then took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. He began to chant the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya again and again. As he drank the sweetness of the face of the Lord, tears constantly glided down from his eyes. While chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he gave up his life and left his body, seeing the wonderful death of Haridas Thakur by his own will, which was just like great mystic yogis. Everyone remembered the passing away of Bhishma. Bhishma also passed away like this. There was a tumultuous noise as they all chanted the holy name of Hari and Krishna. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. So, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sabda Karite Ucharana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sabda Karite Ucharana. Namera Sahita Prana Kaila Utkramana. While chanting the holy name of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Gauranga, Gaurahari, Nimai Pandit, Gaura Sundar, Sachi Sutta, I don't know in which way he must have chanted all those names out of so much of love for the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Haridas Thakur left in that state his body. Bolo Haridas Thakur ke Jai. Haridas Thakur Tirobhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ke Jai. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. All the devotees would remember this particular pastime. I would compare with Bhishma's passing away of Bhishmadev. Mahaprabhu will catch hold of the body of Haridas Thakur and would dance with so much of ferocity. Ferocity means the intensity. He would dance while everybody chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra. At some point of time, Swarup Damodar would say, Mahaprabhu, we have to do certain funeral ceremony. So then the kirtan would stop. They will dress Haridas Thakur with proper, clean, white, new cloth, and they will bathe him in Mahodadi. And Mahaprabhu declared, since today, anyone who is taking bath in Mahodadi, by remembering the passing away of Haridas Thakur, will automatically attain the land of Braj. And then they dug a pit nearby sand in the bank, and then they put the Haridas Thakur to rest there. And all the normal rituals were completed as devotees were doing tumultuous kirtan. Then along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees, they took bath in ocean. And Mahaprabhu went to Ananda Bazaar and begged everyone, give some prasādam in the honor of Haridas Thakur. And the shopkeepers, when they heard, they came with all big matka filled with rice, ghee rice, dalma, sabji, malpua, and whatnot. And when Swarup Damodar Goswami saw this, he stopped Mahaprabhu. And then he and other devotees, they collected little from every shopkeeper, so that every shopkeeper gets the benefit of participating in the passing away of Haridas Thakur Lila. And then devotees sat down and Mahaprabhu started serving. And he served so much, it is like 5 people will eat from one plate. Very nicely. And prasādam served, nobody is eating, and Swarup Damodar would tell Mahaprabhu, unless you sit and take prasādam, nobody would take. Anyhow, this is a very wonderful pastimes of Haridas Thakur. I spoke in a very short time because so much of work is there. Today again, we have last lesson, the goal of human life. I have a lot of work to do on this slide. So, thank you very much, dear devotees. Wonderful day today. Haridas Thakur's Tirobhav Tithi, meditating on Haridas Thakur, chanting some more rounds today will help everyone good. And also, I hope that you are chanting 1 round or 2 round extra for the good health of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna. कोई प्रश्न है क्या? I think I will not take any question now because we have